Well, this escalated very quickly. So we ran out of disk space while recording, getting to this point. But as you can see behind us, Dan put us down a dark place. So last night, Conrad left. Conrad, what time did you leave last night?
8 o'clock.
And that's when we were just pushing it in, right?
Yeah, right when we pushed it in.
So we pushed this thing in at 8 yesterday, and then we left at 2:33-ish this morning. And right around 11 o'clock, we decided that we wanted to pull the motor mount, see what the motor looked like. You guys saw us doing all that stuff. And then I think the recording probably cut out right around the time that we realized we had to take the motor mounts out to try to fab it up. And you had to take the springs off, and then the frame was really crusty. So then that snowballed into, well, why don't we just take the whole thing apart and just build it from scratch like we want to. But we were going to try to kind of like swing it under the radar, but then we were going to end up having to do it twice, because then once it was done and running, maybe next winter or so, we were going to plan on blowing it all apart to do what we're just going to do now. So I'll give you guys a quick overview on what we're doing here, and then we're going to move on to a different project that Conrad's been working on for the last 3-4 weeks. That's going to hopefully, fingers crossed, start and fire today. But let's start with the frame here. So everything is off the front, full suspension's removed. It's going to get a drop kit. So we had to take all that stuff off to get the motor mounts off, so we just left it off. Then we decided to take the bed off, which actually came off relatively easily. And then we just started stripping everything else. All the stuff in the engine bay is out of it for the most part. We got to figure out how to move this thing. That's going to be interesting. But now we're going to send this to blasting and powder coat. So all we're really going to do to it now is these are kind of rusty and crusty. So we just added some bars or welded all the way around on the inside of the frame rails, or as much as we had access to. And that'll help. And then we cut out the spare tire carrier well here. And then Chris helped us by cutting there's big, huge brackets that were on all four corners. So he cut all the rivets, knocked those out, got those brackets out of there. We had to do the same with these rear ones, and we're going to put a bar across the very back. And then once we know what's going on here, we might put one in that could double as a coilover bar, but we have to kind of wait to see what the C channel looks like and how wide that's going to end up. But more than likely, we'll end up putting one right, maybe even off the C channel bracket, right across the front here, so when it gets coilovers, we can add it just straight to there if it ever does. But in the meantime, it'll just be some extra frame bracing, because the front of the frame on the Ranger is all boxed in and sturdy. We're not too worried about that, but the back half is not. Although it's only going to make what?
400-ish.
So we're not going to get all crazy and triangulating shit and making it all nuts, but
yeah,
we did know.
Yeah, like 400 to the tire or so.
You can see it flexes a little bit at the shock mounts, so adding a little rigidity to that won't be a bad idea, especially because we cut all this out. But when the bed goes back on, we're going to try to drop the cell into this hole here. We're going to get rid of the factory fuel system that was there. But yeah, that's it for the EcoBoost or EcoBoost Ranger project at the moment. Any insightful comments, Daniel?
Not insightful. We just, like you said, things progressed very quickly. Things progressed very quickly here.
This was basically running and driving yesterday. It didn't actually run a drive, but it could have. It was complete. So this is going to be like an all-in-one daily that Dan's going to drive in nice days, or all summer basically. Probably won't drive it in winter much, but it's going to be like autocross-ish focus, Caltrax, leaf springs, good shocks, lower kit, hydro, e-brake, and bolt-on tuned EcoBoost 2.3 out of a Mustang. So that's going to be pretty exciting. All right, so now let's turn to a car that you guys have been seeing in the background for a long time. You might have even seen Conrad in the background a couple times. And we are working on Jeremy's 408 Mega Squirt Foxbody.
With the drill hanging out the front.
Yeah, this is the supercharger. It's not plugged in. So this thing was kind of a mess, and we've done a lot to it. You guys saw us do like the whole bottom, mount the shifter, transmission, drive shaft, rear end build, and then Conrad has been helping us huge in getting it wired up with a painless setup, switch panel, and going through the Mega Squirt, making the stock gauges work, making the headlights work. I mean, everything works as it should, which is super sweet and was a huge help to us. So thanks, Conrad.
You're welcome.
And now we are getting ready to see what else it'll do. So we're about to test the fuel system. We had to make some modifications there. We're gonna put some gas in the tank, make sure there's no leaks. We've already primed the oiling system because only God knows when the last time this thing ran. That looked good. We got oil up top. We got oil pressure on the dash. And yeah, so that's what we're gonna be doing for the rest of this video. And we're gonna get back to checking the basics before we hit the button and try to start this thing. All right, guys, now preface this next piece of information for you with
Fix, not build.
it's a fix, not a build. Thank
Yeah,
you. That is
there you
actually,
go.
that's
That's what I was about to say. I was like, I don't know, this is a build.
yes. Can you get my pile of scrap to all kind of work together? So this is what happens.
Scrap is another man's treasure, though.
Yes.
Don't take that the wrong way now, Jeremy.
Yeah, sorry. We figured out that this is a Speedmaster intake manifold, and it has straight.
Included.
Yeah, it has straight injectors. OE style injectors have like a 15-degree angle in them, which is why all the aftermarket rails have like a little notch for all the injector locations. Some injectors, particularly ones made in China, go straight up and down, and this is one, but it has Aeromotive stock style rails on it. So what happens when you decide to mix those two? Key fuel pump prime. Yeah. She doesn't work. That's what happens. So we try to put new injector O-rings in it, thinking that maybe we'll get it to seal enough to at least try to see if it'll fire. But our luck has run out. It's now just has fuel everywhere, all over the injector. Conrad's making fun of us because we've even tried to attempt to put them back in, knowing that they were not going to work. And here we are. So we only wasted about 6 minutes thinking that that was going to fix it. And I already ordered the Speedmaster, Pro Comp, whatever, Chinese. Yeah. Fuel lines to fix this issue. And then we'll have to see what kind of wizardry we have to come up with to get it to work. In the meantime, we will mount the coil somewhere. And
Am I gonna get?
maybe wipe the engine down or something because it's pretty nasty in here. But the transmission's filled. You're gonna say light a match?
Light a match?
Yeah, it's a good time for that. The transmission's filled. The fuel system doesn't leak.
Engine's filled.
Asterisk.
Doesn't.
Asterisk. Part of it doesn't leak.
Wait, there's nothing under the car.
There's oil in it and primed.
4 psi.
Little wins. Little wins.
There's water in it.
Well, you can show them the lights and everything. The lights all work.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the 2 bulbs that are in it?
Oh, yeah.
We didn't put all the bulbs in yet?
I didn't do headlights.
Conrad.
You guys have been on the.
What are you here for? Remind me.
Yeah, there's plenty to show off in here, right?
Yeah, so this is in its testing phases. It'll get all tidied up and tucked away. There's the switch panel. We got to make a little mounting plate for somehow, even though they cut all the material away to possibly use it for anything else. Steering shaft is now tight, although it binds on the header, so that'll be fun.
Heated steering shaft, it's a luxury item.
Yes. That's funny.
There you go.
Yeah, factory gauges. Fun. Race car.
All work. Factory headlight switch works. All right, well, after that long list of fails, the cab is still in the air, which was a goal to get done today. Did not get done. The Fox does not start, does not charge, but does pump fuel all over the engine bay, so that's good.
It does crank.
Oh, it does crank.
PCM does turn on.
The windows roll down. All right, thanks you guys for watching this far. So obviously you guys will see the Ranger and the Foxbody get, well, you see the Foxbody get wrapped up soon. The Ranger you'll not get to see wrapped up soon. But hopefully in the next couple videos you guys will see us finish the Fox and get this the heck out of here because we got a lot of stuff that's coming in. So smash the subscribe button. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you again. All right, guys, so we're back a couple days later working on the red car. Conrad's still with us. Chris is here. Dan in the car. Can't see him without the dust. We're going to test the theory. And so we had to get new rails that had straight in, up and down into the injectors. We had to put the different brackets on. They're just Chinese. They're a little sketchy because they seem to want to flex with fuel pressure, which I don't really like that. If this was a boosted application, I would certainly be taking them off. Oh, they're actually a little bit better now. We took like 10 pounds out of the base pressure. It had like 50 something pounds. But we're gonna see if it fires up. So primed. We still have some more stuff to do. Obviously the coil is just like sitting here. We still have a dipstick fill on the transmission, which has a bunch of oil in it. And we're gonna see if we can get any kind of timing mark. See if we can see what kind of timing it's got. And see if it fires up. All right, go ahead. Nice job, Conrad.
Success.
That is successful AF.
Successful as it could have been.
Conrad.
Or, I would say almost more successful than we anticipated.
Seriously, that runs way better than the other Mega Square car.
Yeah, I thought it would take some cranking, not second turnover.
It fired, yeah, it fired right up.
Woo! We gotta pull this boot off a little bit.
Well, as you saw, it fired damn near right up. I mean, pretty much right up. So we're gonna start to address a couple things now that you obviously saw it fire up. The boot hits the throttle cable. I think that's just an adjustment of the clamp location where the strap part is, but other than that,
Conrad,
we gotta clean up a few other things and kind of go from there. But it fired right up. We still have to finalize interior stuff. Obviously, we got wiring a little bit all over the place, but the goal was to, you know, just get everything, make sure it worked. We got no fuel leaks. Trans cooler doesn't leak, so that's good. No fuel leaks. I said fluid before, but no fuel leaks either. I think all the smoke is just the header wrap, which seems to be brand new, and that's gonna smoke for God knows how long. But yeah, so far, pretty pumped, pretty good. Sounded pretty good. I would say we're pretty amazed as how easy that went based on how everything looked once we got the car. But yeah, now it is not perfect, but we'll get there. We will get there.
Oh, but we're probably gonna need the trans brake for reverse. We'll do that too.
As you can see, still in pieces. But yeah, whew. So getting work done on Eleanor as well. Obviously, we are going on the red car. I guess we'll see where that ends up in this video. So we are working on the Eleanor as well. Over here, getting things situated. Got the whole fuel system completed. Obviously you can't really see it, but here, 45 down, 60 underneath the regulator, kicks it down, 45 there. That runs back up underneath the car. So that runs underneath the car. We then used a Y block and split it to 2 6s. It used to be a 6-feed, 6 return. We have now made it an 8-feed to split to 2 6s and still the 6 return. I tried to utilize all the existing mounting with increasing some here and there in the front. But yeah. So, made it nice and clean. Got better fuel line in there now.
Here's the next one.
So, yeah. So far, so good. And this is pretty sweet.
This one's
Got the filter mounted way up in there.
like 540 or 550.
Little bar mount action, so that it's nice and tucked up, since that was like the only place we had room to go. So that's what we did. Obviously ran it up. There's the 6 return coming on that side. Then the 8 feed goes up into the filter, over obviously, through, down, all the way to the front of the car, to where it splits to the 2 6s that go to the rails. So yeah. But as we were doing all that, to find out which side was the feed and the return, I had to take apart the inside of the tank. And as I was doing that, I found a bunch of stuff that was in here. So I don't know if you'll be able to see. Oh yeah, you can. So there's only little black specks left inside of there. Over in the back. On this side, you kinda, I don't think you'll be able to see. Oh, there's bigger chunks in there. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in the gas tank, shavings and big rubber chunks. So we had now proceeded to have to take the whole trunk apart and drain the tank, because this is what was in it. All this. Those are the big chunks that were inside of there. Bunch of little shavings. We drained as much as we could to kind of try to get it out. Couldn't get everything out, so we are now going to have to drop the tank to drain the rest. Then it had some makeshift bracket. We cleaned up because it had, burrs everywhere from the welding. They didn't really grind everything out. So, yeah. It was no good. But it is driven by one 465 pump. So which we might address that. I think it's probably going to end up staying like that. We have to get a new filter, pre-filter for the pump, because it was rough. Because they had electrical tape going around the base of this pump, and all the adhesive, the fuel just ate away at the adhesive, and that just got sucked right into the pre-filter. So we're getting a new one of those, and going to get this all fixed up.